Hello beautiful, welcome back to my channel and welcome to this week's new makeup releases. We are going to chat about the new makeup that's been released enough and sneak peeked, and I'm going to let you know what I think about these items, and then you let me know down in the comments what you think about these items. And remember, it is okay to disagree. Friends do not always agree about makeup and beauty. If you love something I hate and if I love something you hate, that's perfectly fine. It is okay, but friends are always kind and respectful to each other. If you haven't been here before, please consider subscribing. I do upload quite a lot of videos about makeup and beauty here on my channel, and I would love to see you in my next one as well. So let's dive into this week's new makeup releases. I did buy a new case for my iPhone. Look, it's the Star Wars and it's the sunset with the two suns over Tatooine. I really like it. I will try and see if I can remember to link this one as well. I might forget, but remind me, because I really love it with I chose the pink plastic rims. I think it looks beautiful. Did film this look. It is going to be live next week. I tried a bunch of new makeup. I don't know if I love it. There's nothing wrong with the products. Maybe it's me. Maybe I'm having doubts about my, if I was able to pull this. I don't know. I don't know if I love the look, but I think it's more me than the products. I will leave all the products that I used in a pinned comment down below in case you're interested in seeing what I use. And all of the products that I'm going to be talking about today, it's going to be in the description box. Check the description box for links to everything. Info, I will put as much as I possibly can in the description box, together with codes and stuff if I have anything like that. My merch shop, my socials, all of that is going to be down in the description box. Okay, we have a bunch of really fun things to talk about. Some of them not so much, some of them really fun. Let me see here. Okay. What should we start with? Oh my, there is a... Do I have any of these? Oh, I do have some of these. Okay, I'm making no sense. Let me scoochie. Let me scoochie. And let's see if I can get some light on me. Hello? And now I'm not in focus. Hello? Thank you. Okay, let me first talk about this one because I do have this one, but I can't show you because it hasn't been announced yet. And this is the new palette by Nomad Cosmetics. They have shown some sneak peeks, and I do have this palette, and I've already filmed with this palette. It is a really, really pretty palette, and I will have a video up on this palette tomorrow on my channel. So there's gonna be a bonus video, and that is coming tomorrow. I won't share anything more about this because I am spilling all the tea in that video, but just know as soon as you see this palette being revealed on Instagram, check back on my channel. I'm gonna have a video showing you all about this palette, swatches, 2 looks, and all of that. This is releasing on the 20th. And I do have a code with Nomad Cosmetics. My code is Angelica, and it saves you 10% when you're shopping at their site. So yeah, if you're interested in this palette, check back tomorrow. The video is coming then. The next palette I have is actually a palette by Drizzle Cosmetics. I've never gotten any PR from Drizzle Cosmetics before, but they did send me this one that's called The Mattes. It's a pressed pigment palette by Drizzle, and it is all mattes, and it's very purple heavy. And I'm gonna be honest with you, some of these do look a little similar. I know that the owner said that she was like, wanted to do an all matte palette, and I love purple, so I wanted to put in all the purple tones. And I see where she's coming from, but I will be honest, I do think that you can edit this palette down a little bit. This could have been, this is really big. This is 20 shades. This is 20, is it 20? I think it's 20 shades. Wait, can I count? It's 20 shades. This could have been a 16 pan palette, a 12 pan palette. It's just 20 shades of mostly purples. It is a little redundant. And if you would have made this a 12 pan palette, there's definitely 12 significantly different shades within this palette. So I do think that this could have been taken down a little bit. I haven't tried this one yet, but I have heard from my friends that the quality is really nice. I was thinking, because I have 3 indie palettes here that I have, that I haven't reviewed, that I haven't tried, and I was thinking I don't want to do a dedicated video on all of them. If you have seen my videos from this week, you know that I am toying with the idea of just doing more videos about the things I own and trying to tone it down a little bit about the things that are new. And I think I'm gonna make a video like a get ready with me or something and chatting about this a bit. Maybe I'll have it live next week. I'm not 100% sure, but I'm thinking that I'm gonna do a video where I do 3 looks with 3 different indie palettes. Like this one, I also have this new palette from Gourmande Girls. They haven't shown the inside yet, so I'm not going to be letting you know about it. But I also have that one. And then I have the new one from Bella Beaute Bar, the one that is inspired by... I was going to say Poltergeist. That is not the one. Beetlejuice. Poltergeist? Woo! Woo! I saw Poltergeist when I was 4 years old with my dad because he was like, oh, you need to see something like this so you can know that it's not true. I've hated horror movies since Poltergeist. It's not for me. But I do have those 3 palettes. I'm thinking I'm going to do a video where I do 1 look with each, showing you some swatches, just giving you some initial thoughts. But I don't want to do 3 separate videos because I feel like that's just too much for me as well. But I love indie makeup and I love colorful makeup, and I think that that is all fun. Sugar Drizzle did ask me if I wanted to have a collab with them, but I said I wanted to try it first. So let me know if you're interested in me having a collab with Sugar Drizzle as well. I'm definitely open for that, but I want to try the palette first before I like... You understand. You understand. Okay, the next thing I wanted to talk about, and this is something that I had last week, but I just quickly want to mention that, and this is the new Morphe 2 and Maddie Ziegler collection. They are doing a collab for the 2nd time. Well, the first time she did a collab with Morphe, and now she's doing one with Morphe 2. I did forget to talk about this last week. This is already available at Ulta. I will link it down below in case you're interested. I do think that this palette looks way better than her old palette did. And there's also a couple of liners in this collection, and it is a blue, a purple, a bronze, and I think a black then in this collection because there are 4 different. I think this palette looks better than the one they had before, but it's still not something that I'm interested in buying. I just wanted to let you know because I forgot to mention it last week. I got a million tags in this one, and this is the new Thunder palette by Colored Raine. This is also a pressed pigment palette. This is $25 and this is available now. If you hear a pitter patter in the background, those are my dogs just switching up from one bed to another. They're lazy little puppers. I think this is beautiful, but as you heard right now, I have quite a few new things in my life and I'm trying to buy a little less. Not because I don't love things, not because I don't look at this and think, oh, that is so pretty, but because like I only have 2 eyes and I want to like actually use the stuff that I buy so that I can let you know about it. And I'm sure there are other people that are going to pick up this palette and let you know about it. But I will say an all blue eyeshadow palette, that does make me happy because I love blue eyeshadow. I just can't try all of it. I say sometimes, oh, I try all of it so you don't have to, but I can't. There are people on this platform that try even more makeup than me, like so much makeup. I don't want to have that level of stress in my life. I'm trying to be a little kind towards myself. So I do think that this palette is really pretty, but yeah, you can't try them all. It is available though. I will link it down below in case you are interested. If you're looking at this and thinking, that is one pretty palette. That's also the reason why I don't think, unless something happens, but I don't see myself trying this new Naked palette by Urban Decay. This is a collab with Robin Eisenberg, which is an illustrator, and I know that Urban Decay has worked with this illustrator before, and this illustrator has done like some illustrations, I think, for like PR material for Urban Decay. I think that some people are like, oh, this is so beautiful, this is so different. I think this is a typical Urban Decay palette. All shimmers, and then a bricky red matte. It is exactly what they always do. What do you mean different? This is exactly what they always do. That first half of the palette is any Urban Decay palette that has come out these last years. 3 beiges, a gold, a peachy matte, a raspberry shimmer, a brick red matte, and then there are a couple of blues. One of them is a periwinkle matte. That's the only shade that I think is truly innovative for Urban Decay, because they never, almost never, do any kind of colorful mattes. If it's a colorful shade, it's always a shimmer, and I feel like this palette is that as well. And I was so disappointed when I got my She-Hulk palette in that I didn't even want to use it. I did have a video about that this week where I was like just shopping my own collection instead of using that She-Hulk palette. Not that I think it's horrible, it's probably nice, but it's so much more predictable and typical Urban Decay than I thought it was going to be. And I look at this palette and I see that again. Maybe this is totally different, but I look at the looks as well and I'm like, I don't think this is gonna blow anyone's socks off. That's gonna be my bet for the season. I want to talk about this because I feel like I'm changing my mind about this. and I don't know if it's good for my wallet. I don't think I'm gonna be picking this up, but I will say that these pictures made me change my mind about the Nars Holiday collection. I thought first when I saw it that it looked very generic and very Nars and very blah 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 blah. You know how I sound. I know how I sound. You know how I sound. I actually think it looks really pretty. That blush palette does look like any other blush palette from Nars, but that eyeshadow palette actually looks nice. It's a red matte, a lavender matte. There's a couple of more cool tones mixed in with some more neutrals. I don't hate it. I actually think it looks really cute. Am I gonna buy it? Probably not. But I will say that I have more positive feelings towards it after seeing these pictures than I did when I saw the first pictures about it. I don't know when this is coming. Do we have any info? Coming soon. I will link down below where you'll be able to find this once it launches. I'm betting that all of these things that are holiday releases that you haven't seen like released yet, all of them are gonna drop in September. Probably each and every one of them. Speaking of holiday, Kylie Cosmetics is dropping something that's very on the nose holiday, and this is the reindeer liquid lipstick set, a high gloss lip gloss ornament with an actual reindeer, and a blush and highlighter palette that looks like a Can I Copy Your Homework Natasha Denona-esque packaging. I think that this looks cute. I did see in the comments where someone was like, oh no, it says here, I'm reading on Trend Mood. A launch that was pushed from last year's holiday season. There are more items in this collection not available yet. I don't know. When it says pushed from last season, I'm not 100% sure if they produced the items and they have been sitting for a year, or if they had the prototypes ready, but the factory was letting them know that the actual production of the products would be too close to Christmas, so they decided to like push the actual production, the big batch production, up until this year. Because like when you're doing makeup products, it's not like you're sending them a post-it with like just you drawing what you want and then they send you 100,000 like items of that product. There's a lot of going back and forth, and when a launch is pushed, it is not necessarily that they have the entire warehouse sitting with these things, because I think that if they had the items, they probably would have sold them. I'm thinking that probably something with logistics made the final batch be ready too close to Christmas, so they decided, why don't we just not produce the final batch and just keep all the prototypes and do the exact same thing next year. This is my guess. This is what I'm thinking, because remember, if you have these items sitting on shelves, that is money that's sitting on shelves. It would probably be cheaper for them to buy stickers and make these reindeers into spring mousse and sell them around Easter than to save them till next year, because that is a lot of money sitting in your warehouse. Again, I'm not saying that this is what happened. I'm just saying that this is a somewhat qualified guess of what could have happened. Why do I feel like all the foundations I'm trying lately is making me look like I have literally spread butter all over my face? That's neither here nor there. For some unclear reason, BPerfect and Stacey Marie MUA have decided to release another Carnival palette. One of them is the Carnival XL Remasters, and one of them is the All Stars palette. I don't see the need. I don't know who this is for. I feel like am I like falling out of frame? I feel like anyone at this point that had been wanting any of these palettes and are following Stacey Marie MUA, they don't need, they're up to here with rainbow palettes. I feel like that Antidote palette that she did last year, they're doing a collab a year, and they've done that for like, what, 4 years? 5 years? It's a lot. I'm just feeling like, I feel like that was a step in the right direction. Like we were doing a color scheme. We're doing this yellow, red, green neutrals thing. It was still too big to be a color store, in my humble opinion, that had that color scheme. It could have been toned down, edit yourself. But now we're back to the rainbows, and it's like remastered and like all stars. So existing shades. So I have this. That's what you're telling me. What I'm hearing is you have this. So for me, this is an easy pass, because we're coming into redundant territory, and I again, trying to buy less. I'm definitely not buying something I already have. This one is probably the one that I'm not gonna buy that is tempting me the most. And this is the Trixie Cosmetics new palette. It's called the Girl Talk collection. It's lip gloss, lashes, some kind of a, is it a robe? Girl Talk robe. Why am I strangely attracted to what that could be? The idea of that is strangely attractive. Okay, the palette, it's so fun. This is like early 90s acid. I love this. This gives me happy memories from my childhood in the early 90s, and we were wearing those big sweatshirts with the tights and the white sneakers with the neon rainbow scrunchy shoestrings. You remember? You remember like the phone cord, like shoes. I remember, you remember, we don't need to talk about it anymore, but it's giving me that, and I look at it, I'm like, oh, it's so cute. But at the end of the day, I own this. As a lover of color, as someone that's been in this beauty community online for 7 years, I have so many colorful palettes, and I have this. Had this had a bigger mix of light and dark shades, I would not have been able to resist. But since it is mainly those lighter, ooh, that's a hair, like lighter, almost pastel neons, I think I'm gonna pass, because I think at the end of the day, this will be a companion palette for me. And I don't think it really fills a void in my collection. And it hurts me a little bit to say, because I do think it's very pretty. But I think I'm gonna skip. It is really pretty though. It's so pretty. Another thing that is really pretty, and where I'm like, oh, maybe this is the second one where I'm like, I really do like this. And this is the new Glaminatrix palette. Oh, this is so pretty. This is even more. Can I have a mix? Can I have a mix between these grungy jewels and just a couple of those pastel neons? Can we just... asking for... No, I'm not. I'm asking for me. Can we have that? I feel like that's what's missing in my collection. When two aesthetics clash. That's what's missing in my collection. That's what I would want. Where is the grungy goth girl meets 90s pastel teen? Where's the clash? But I do love how this looks. I really love how this looks. That is dark and grungy and jewel tones and wonderfulness. Again, had this had a pastel matte, I think this is gonna be, I don't want to buy stuff that's not from a brand where I review everything, or the perfect mix. The perfect mix, but I do like how this looks. It looks really, really pretty. Really pretty. And if you go to Glaminatrix, you can see the swatches, and they're so pretty. Intense. Let's go into makeup that's clearly not made for my tax bracket. This new Fenty limited edition lipstick case. It is, surprisingly enough, not diamonds. This is Swarovski crystals, which is glass. It is 975 hand applied gems. I get it, but it's $500 for a lipstick case. And it says that it is limited edition and there's only 100 available. Spoiler alert, they're not sold out. I'm guessing more people are in my tax bracket and not in Rihanna's tax bracket. I just can never see myself. I'm not the kind of person that cannot spend $500 on something that's like not, I don't want to say needed, but not essentials. Like, I bought a wallet for $500. I am that person. I will save up and I will buy the thing I need. I just will never be the person that will think a limited edition lipstick case with Swarovski crystals is that. I don't see that in my future. It's not for me. Another thing that is, I don't see the value, and I'm sure others will. And I think the main reason why I don't see the value of this Besame collection, let's talk about this again, is that I love Disney, but I don't love Disney. Like, it's not one of those things where I would drop $129 on a Maleficent ring with a perfume thing in it. Fragrance in solid form. I'm not walking around with that. I mean, the Queen Shadow book is $115. $115 for an eyeshadow palette. That's all fine and dandy. I've paid that. I have paid that. I can see that. I have not heard great things about anything from Besame except their ideas and their packaging. And I'm not paying $115 for packaging. That's not me. I'm not doing that. And also, I have seen swatches of this and it seems like one of them is a pressed glitter, and that is definitely not something that I feel belongs in a $115 palette. And then we have that Ursula Metal Compact. It's a $225. And at that point, I'm like, for whom? You have to be a very dedicated collector that really does not care about what's in this to be like, how much do you have to love Ursula to think that $225 is a good price for a metal compact that looks like the shell that she captures Ariel's voice in? I don't see a future where that's me. That's not me. It actually shocks me. But on that note, a lot of you were tagging me that this item is indeed part of the collection, and this is Isma's extract of llama polish. This is a nail polish. I bought this. Did I need this? No. Do I paint my nails? Never. I'll put this on my toenails. I don't even like pink nail polish, but I want to make a statement. I love Isma. Isma is one of the few Disney villains that actually has her own style, that wears makeup. Isma deserves a little bit more attention. So I bought this. I think it is super cute. This is the only thing I bought. I think it was $25. Yeah. This was supposed to be exclusive to the expo where they revealed this collection, but then it came up on the website. I'm guessing the ones that they didn't sell at the expo were sold at the website. I bought one of them. Isma is my favorite villain. Don't at me. I will die on this hill. Isma is the best villain, so I bought this one. I'm actually very excited. Do I care that it's a pink spot? I don't care. I don't care, but I think you're able to peel it off, the sticker, and that it actually is like the llama and the skull. I think you're able to. I'm excited. Okay, here I am like, I don't love Disney, but here I am buying stuff that I'm not even gonna use. Okay, I don't want to talk about this anymore. Let's move on to this thing that a lot of people tagged me in, but I honestly had no idea what this was. I was full on Samantha March when this came up. This is Hip Dot and the Mighty Nine. I had to do some Googling, don't mind me trying to save my face. I had to do some Googling, and the Mighty Nine is, from what I gather, it's Dungeons and Dragons. It started out as a podcast and now it's actually a chapter within the game. Correct me if I'm wrong. Correct me if I'm wrong. It was a very popular podcast with Dungeons and Dragons, and it's one of those things that I actually don't play. I don't play any games like that. I only play role-playing games online. Like that's I played some Dungeons and Dragons with my brother when we were younger, but I mean I'm saying younger as in like I was maybe 13, 12, and I don't think that we were even following the rules. I have no idea what we were doing. He was loving it though, but I honestly have no idea if we were even following the rules, but I know that he had the game. I love the idea though. And part of me is like, again, I kind of want to buy it just to show that, yes, we want these kind of traditionally geeky, traditionally nerdy stuff to be makeup too. You can love Dungeons and Dragons, computer gaming, you can love those things and also be into makeup. Because I feel like right now, the only thing that like these brands have figured out is that you can love Disney and makeup. I mean, we can tell that by all of the collections that's coming out, but I really wish that they would take it one step further. And I feel like this is one step further, and it's also giving me a lot of hope for eventually they're gonna get to my game. Eventually it will be my game, and I will be the one that's just frantically just at the keyboard trying to buy this before it sells out. The more I see, the more I hope I have for the future. This is a palette, a lipstick set with 3, and a highlighter. And you have to buy this as a bundle. And it is not shipping out until December/January. So I feel like this is truly a collector piece for the people that love this chapter of Dungeons and Dragons. obviously it's not me. I don't even know if I'm saying stuff correctly. Looks beautiful. And again, it's giving me hope that eventually I will get the one that I want. Right? I'm hoping so. This is the reveal of the Dose of Colors and Makeup Shayla's limited edition wedding collection. And honestly, I think this is really cool. This seems to be Shayla's year. This is her second collab in a somewhat short amount of time. I think that's absolutely amazing. Big congratulations. I mean, I wore green to my wedding. I wore green to my wedding in a summer dress that I found online. So this would not have been for me, but I do think there's a lot of people that would actually like, probably are in the process of planning their wedding, that would look at this and be like, oh, thank God somebody else thought about this for me so I don't have to. Because yeah, she already thought about all of this for you if you buy this set. I mean, you will probably be pretty set for your wedding. Maybe that cheek duo will be more towards darker skin tones, which makes sense because Shayla has a darker skin tone, and I think that's amazing. I want to see more brands have a more diverse roster of people that they collab with, and I think this is beautiful. Is it for me? Most definitely not. But I like the idea of doing a wedding theme because I think a lot of people that are planning their wedding that maybe are not that into makeup will look at this and be like, I'm so happy somebody else thought about this for me so I can just buy this kit and be done with it. There has been a lot of holiday releases from Tarte that's come out. You can find all of them at Tarte's website. And you can find most of them at like Sephora, Ulta, something like that. I will see if I'm able to put links of all of that down below. I'm just telling you that you can find them in different places. Per usual, the holiday collection from Tarte is huge capital letters. That's what he said. It's just a very, very big collection. And I will say some of these items that look really good. And I do like the color choices of this year because it seems to be leaning into this burgundy with a mix of clayey warm tones. And I actually kind of like it. Am I gonna buy any of this? Absolutely not. I don't need any of this. There was a small thing, actually a small palette that is the same kind of palette size and the same packaging as that mini jewel palette that I bought, and I thought that maybe, I was like, oh, maybe this could be my second palette from Tarte that I buy, but the darkest color in this palette is unfortunately not a matte, it is a shimmer, so I decided to not buy it, because again, if I'm gonna buy stuff, it's gonna be stuff that is like perfect, and I would have bought this had the darkest shadow been a matte, but it is a shimmer, and alas, I don't need it. Speaking of holiday, this is MAC Holiday. I don't know if this is all of it, but you can see a bunch here. It seems like they're doing... What is the theming this year? Pink with gold dots and bows? I'm not 100% sure. It seems to be bows and dots. I can't remember the last time. I think the last time, now that I actually like really think of it, the last time I bought something from a holiday collection MAC was those Nutcracker duos. I think that was the last time. And those were really pretty. But since then, I don't feel like the same effort has been put into the holiday collections. It just seems a little generic. And I feel like MAC used to do holiday collections that really appealed to both people that are not into the beauty community, that would just walk into a MAC store, see it and feel like, oh, that's cute, but also really appealed to the beauty community as well, people that were collectors or people that had a lot of makeup. And I feel now they're falling more into the category of Too Faced and Tarte, where they're kind of only appealing to the people that will see it in store or the people that are maybe not that engaging with the makeup community. There's nothing wrong with that. As long as you're selling, I guess you're doing a good job. But I haven't seen a MAC holiday collection be really hyped online for quite some years. And I think the reason is that they don't seem to be putting as much effort into them lately. There's another holiday collection, and this is Morphe Holiday, and it is all neutrals. Nobody is surprised. They're trying to put some sparkles in this picture to make it look like it's a little bit exciting, but at the end of the day, it is a brown mini palette, a mauve mini palette, and then a big brown and mauve mini palette with the pop of yellow. Groundbreaking. I wonder how this release is gonna do. This is from Rose Inc, and this is their first attempt to doing eyeshadows, and this is a satin and shimmer eyeshadow duo. I can tell you right now, I don't know who this is for, but I know that it's not me. I would never buy an eyeshadow duo that has a shimmer and a satin. I can buy an eyeshadow duo if it's 2 mattes. Because I can build a look around 2 mattes, and I actually wouldn't hate to have an like something like that, as long as the combos are somewhat interesting and innovative. I feel like there has been some brands that have been trying to do duos with 2 mattes, like the Kim Kardashian eye contour kits, which I think were a little bit gimmicky, and had she done those with some kind of an innovation, I think I would have been more excited. Had this been matte shadows, like had these been matte shadows, or 1 matte and 1 spark, I would have been more intrigued. But it being a satin and a shimmer, no. They're also $30. Is that a lot for a duo? I feel like that's a lot for a duo. These I saw in store yesterday. These are the limited edition 2022 Fantasy Makers collection by Wet n Wild. I saw these in store at H-E-B yesterday when I was shopping for groceries. I will say they looked really nice, and I was able to look at them really up close. But again, none of them were perfect. Some of them had some darker mattes, but I will say in most of these palettes, the darker shadows are shimmers. And even though I don't hate a dark shimmer, I want there to be some dark mattes as well, just for my personal preference and how I would use a palette. Because at the end of the day, I can review a palette, but I would prefer to review a palette that I would actually reach for after I reviewed it. I mean, if I can pick and choose and be a little choosy, which I feel I could, because who's gonna tell me not to? Who's gonna tell me not to? I'm my own boss. I would like to pick something up where I'm like, cannot wait to review it, and also cannot wait to use it again. And neither of these palettes were perfect for that, but just looking at them up close, I didn't think they looked horrible. They just weren't spectacular either. There is a new primer from Glowish. I haven't seen anything from this brand in a while. This is the sub-brand to Huda Beauty, basically the, I don't know, the glowy, clean, I don't even know. I don't remember. Was this the clean brand or was it the glowy? No, it was the brand that was infused with skincare. That was the whole thing of this sub-brand. So this is the Glowish Blur Jam Silicone Free Smoothing Primer, and it is $33. I have primers that I really enjoy. Right now, I'm not looking for a new one. I will say that my 2 favorite primers right now, I have both discovered them through getting them in PR. So I probably should be more open towards trying primers, because I've realized that once I get to try them, I actually do see, that they're good, and I do see the whole purpose of them. I guess I'm just like stuck in that, like, I don't know if I need primers. Meanwhile, I love the primers I have. Oh, there's some collections here. Listen, collections are going haywire. And this is by Pretty Little Things and Amrezy. I had heard that Pretty Little Things were doing makeup. I don't know exactly how good this makeup is. I'm guessing they paid Amrezy a pretty penny for this. Pretty Little Thing is a UK-based fast fashion online shopping place. I will say that I do own some things from Pretty Little Things that I've owned for quite some time that I really enjoy. I actually bought 2 things from Pretty Little Things this summer. I made an order and I bought 2 of those. They're like leotards with, like, you know, the, I'm already messing up, but it's like little leotards and like the stretchy rib material that like the bicycle pants are in, and I brought them on vacation and I actually really enjoy them. They're perfect layering pieces and they're actually really good quality. But I will say that it's a little bit like H&M or ASOS. Like, you have to really look at reviews and know what you're buying, because it can be very hit or miss. I don't see myself trying their makeup, and even though I think Amrezy is absolutely stunning and I think that her makeup is always super beautiful, we don't have the same taste when it comes to makeup. It looks pretty, it seems to be some lip products, some highlighters, some blushes. It's just not something that I'm looking to try. Okay, so here's another collab, and this is by e.l.f. Cosmetics and Kelly Strack. I've never met Kelly Strack. I have no idea if this is like on brand to her makeup aesthetics or not. I'm actually not watching her channel, but she has done a Kelly Strack's favorites bundle, and you can get it in either fair light, medium tan, or deep rich. I think that is amazing that it's her favorite products, but it's like you can buy different boxes depending on your skin tone. It is $68 at e.l.f. Cosmetics, and there is quite a lot of products in this bundle. Honestly, I think that that is pretty cool. Big congratulations for being able to work with e.l.f. Cosmetics and do this really fun bundle. I think that it's also really cool that there's something for the face, there's something for the cheeks and the eyes, there are some tools. Like, I feel like they really are capturing a lot of different product categories within this box. That's pretty cool. I was a little bit confused by these new collections by Profusion because I think that they're doing two different Halloween collections, and I think that one of them is being sold at Walmart and one of them is being sold at, I can't see here, but I think one of them is being sold at Walmart and one of them is being sold somewhere else. This first one seems to be inspired by a Ouija board. There's a big palette, there's a small palette, there's a bunch of, there is so many things. Profusion reminds me a little bit to like Makeup Revolution when it comes to her collections. You can edit it down a little bit and just try to do the things you do really good. And maybe they are. Maybe they're amazing quality. I've never tried them. But I just feel like sometimes the collections are so big that it makes me think there is no way that with this many products, this often, they can be good quality. That's how I feel. And I'm sure there are gems in here. But it also makes me feel like I'm probably more likely to find some duds when there are this many products that are being produced, because they also have this collection, and this is the one that I think is, oh, it's Walgreens exclusive. Okay, so I think the other one is Walmart, and I think this one is Walgreens, and none of the collections what I watched this morning, maybe they're up now, I'm not 100% sure, is available at the Profusion website. And this is the Dark Castle Enchanted Forest collection, and the big palette says Dark Castle. This is very inspired by that palette that Kat Von D did a million years ago. Not the color story, but the packaging. Again, it's just a very, very big collection with a bunch of things. And it just makes me go, you did two different big Halloween collections? I don't know. How do you feel about that when you see a brand come out with 30 new products at once? Am I the only one that feels like there is no way that all of those are perfect? These were really cute and I might actually buy them. These are from Makeup Eraser and they are doing two different collabs. One of them is with Nightmare Before Christmas. I really like these makeup erasers. Actually, one of you gave me a pack of these and I've been using them so much, and I really think they're such a good way of cleansing your face as a first cleanse when you have a lot of makeup on. Those days when you're really packing it on, and then I will cleanse afterwards as well. But I honestly think that these look really cute with the Nightmare Before Christmas. Maybe I like the other set even more. It's a Disney set because I recognize these a bit more. I've only seen Nightmare Before Christmas once, and this is the Mickey and Makeup Eraser collab, and I just think this is really cute. I like it. I think that these are the kind of collabs that for me make sense because it's the kind of product that a lot of us will probably use, or at least get good use out of. If you've never tried it, I would recommend getting something like this. It's actually kind of cool. And then with this, at least with this Mickey one, you get one of those wash bags. So you put them in the washing machine and you can wash them, and it's honestly kind of cool. I really do like mine. And I could see myself buying a set like this with the limited edition things. Like it. Okay, I want to mention this one as well. This is the Welcome to Marrakesh eyeshadow palette by Essence. This is only available in Europe yet, but they are probably going to release this in the US as well in a bit. I did try one of these palettes. I think I tried the Miami one and I really did not like it. I thought the formula was very thin, and I just, it's not like it's absolutely horrible. But it is really not a good formula, at least not the one that I tried, the Miami one, to the point where I'm like, there are so many good eyeshadows out there. There are so many good affordable eyeshadows out there. There is really no reason to buy a subpar eyeshadow palette in 2022. There's just really no reason. Milani has a collection as well. I think I forgot to talk about this. This is the Days of Disco This is an eyeshadow palette. It's a holographic eye topper set. The new matte lipsticks, one of them is a black. There is a gloss and there's a shimmer spray. I did try one of these Milani eyeshadows and I feel the exact same. It's nice, but it's definitely not a favorite eyeshadow palette formula. And when I tried it, I actually got it from Milani, Sweden. I got it sent to me as PR. And in Sweden, Milani eyeshadows are like $30, $35, and it was definitely not worth that. I don't even think it's worth $20. The formula isn't that good. You can get a better eyeshadow palette from affordable brands at the drugstore that are not that. I think that, like I said before, in this day and age of actually really good makeup formulations, regardless of price, there is no need to buy a so-so eyeshadow formula. Really, there is not. Let's end with the Makeup Revolution's Color Corrector Skin Bases. These are super base color correcting primers in green and yellow, and they're $12 each. And this, if this is a good formulation, I think a lot of people will enjoy. There's a lot of people that I know, a lot of people that's in my close circle that use color correctors like this to correct before they go in with foundation. And if Makeup Revolution can do a product like that and do it good, and do it at affordable price, I think people would enjoy that. I've heard a lot of you saying that their skin base products are the best. I have not had the best luck with their foundations and concealers myself, mainly because I don't think they're very good at describing shades. I also hated that Make XX Revolution thing. I didn't like that one at all. But this is a multitasking formula that helps to neutralize skin pigmentation using complementary color theory and innovative natural ingredients. Asbestos is natural. Like, everybody needs to calm down. It contains Sika, which helps to strengthen your skin's natural barrier and brighten skin, banana extract. I mean, this sounds fun. If you are using a color corrector maybe from a more expensive brand, maybe this could be something to try out, because if this is the kind of product you use every day when you do your makeup, this is where you can save some money if you can find an equally good product at a lesser price. Okay, I think that was everything. Let me scooch back. I feel so glowy. I don't know what's going on. And I'm not even like, I don't have oily skin. But I feel like these foundations are just too hydrating. Too hydrating, too much. Like, everybody needs to simmer down. Let me know, what are you the most interested in this week? I think, what am I the most interested in? Very interested in that new Nomad palette, because I've tried it and I think a lot of people will really appreciate that color scheme. I cannot wait to get my Isma nail polish. I think it's so cute. And I am looking forward to trying those new indie palettes that I have as well. I just don't want to do like a dedicated video on each. Is there something that I'm planning to pick up? I don't think so. Maybe some makeup eraser thingies. Maybe I will go and see what different ones they have. I could see myself buying more of those. Anyways, I hope you're having an absolutely amazing day. Don't forget to check the description box and the pinned comment for more info, and I will see you tomorrow for a bonus video. And also don't forget to check the videos I had this week. I had some fun videos. Bye!